In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a crosstab using handwritten abbreviated syntax. And I'm also going to show you how to ask SPSS to provide the chi-square statistic for that bivariate analysis. So crosstabs tell us about the relationship that exists between two variables. Long before you run a crosstab, though, you will want to think about how these variables that you are interested in should be related. Specifically, you want to identify which variable is the independent variable and which variable is the dependent variable. When you create syntax in SPSS using the drop-down menus, it typically provides a lot of syntax. Let's take a look at an example of this. If you want to create a crosstab where you use social class to predict life satisfaction, then you would go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Crosstabs, and then you would put your variables in the correct spots. So we want to predict life satisfaction, so that goes in the rows. And we would want to use social class, which is class, in the columns. And this is the GSS 2006 file. So those are the variables from the GSS 2006. You would want to probably get some percentages based on the independent variables. So click on that column, percentages, click continue, and then you would paste your syntax. And if you take a look at this syntax, there's quite a bit here. All of this is for the crosstab. And you could run it and take a look at your output. And here's our output. And we're using a subjective class measure to predict how exciting or routine people think their life is. Not quite life satisfaction, but you get the idea. You could produce this exact same bivariate table, this crosstab, with much shorter syntax, and it's much easier than you might think. If we go back to our syntax editor, we can go down and create a new line to produce the exact same table. So the first part is to tell SPSS what the command is. And we're going to tell SPSS that we want a crosstab. And all we need is cross. And then you want to put your dependent variable, which in this case is life. And we're going to say by our independent variable, which is class. Okay, so this is the basic command for the crosstab, but we want to tell SPSS about the options that we would like presented in our table. So we want to make sure that we have percentages, not just frequencies. We can ask for both or just one or the other. Because we like percentages better, we are going to tell SPSS that in the cells, we want to see percentages in the columns. And make sure you add a period at the end. Okay, so a couple things to note. Whenever you're doing a command in SPSS, you're going to find that the dependent variable is always listed first, and your independent variable is listed second. This is also the case in the syntax that SPSS automatically generates. And so this will be consistent across other commands as well. Go ahead, highlight this syntax and run it. And here you see we have produced the exact same table. It's actually a little bit neater than the one above because I didn't ask it to produce the frequencies because we tend not to use those as much, but you can refer to them up here if you would like to. So now you can sort of see the relationship that exists between social class and how people feel about their life. And you can see lower class, working class, middle class, and upper class. So as social class goes up, what happens to feelings about life? And you'll see this is empty. So nobody in the upper class said their life was dull, which is a pretty big tip off to maybe what's happening here. And you can see there's a pretty big difference across the exciting row. Upper class, much more likely to report that their life is exciting. And if you look for the largest percentage in each column, so here we have upper class, here we have middle class, also exciting, and then we go down here, working class finds life to be routine, and lower class finds life to be routine. So there's a little bit of a relationship here. You can sort of see that diagonal line emerging. So as social class increases, individuals are more likely to report an exciting life. Let's say we want to include a chi-square statistic to see if there is a significant relationship. We want to know if these variables are independent from one another in the population. So when you want to do a chi-square statistic, you could go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, go down to Crosstabs, and our variables are already in here because we didn't take them out from the last time. And it's very simple to ask SPSS to provide a chi-square. All you need to do is go to the Statistics box over here on the right, click on that Statistics box, and you want to click on the chi-square statistic option, which is in the top left-hand side of this dialog box. So you're in the upper left corner. You can click Continue and then paste your syntax. We have to go back to our syntax editor. And here you can see that it has been produced for us below our handwritten abbreviated syntax. You can highlight this. And SPSS will rerun the bivariate table for you. And also, if you scroll down to the bottom, the third box of output produces the chi-square statistic. So what you're seeing is a Pearson's chi-square statistic of 91.266. And you can see there's 6 degrees of freedom. And we're looking at this column right here to see whether or not the chi-square statistic is significant, is statistically significant. And we see here it's less than 0.001. So this indicates that the relationship between social class and feelings about life being exciting is significant, is statistically significant. You can see it provides a little bit more information, the number of valid cases that are included, 1,960, and that matches the information up here as well. If you would like to create this syntax manually, you can copy and paste this from above, and you can ask SPSS to give you the chi-square manually as well. So all you need to do is say stats equal chi-square. Make sure you put a period on the end, and it will produce the chi-square for you. And you can see everything is identical. So it's very easy to ask SPSS to do this with a handwritten abbreviated syntax. So we take the first piece from up above that we have through columns, and then we just add the stats equal chi-square, CHISQ, with a period on the end. So it's very simple to do abbreviated syntax using the chi-square statistic as well.